test to figure out what's the result. So, our subject is about London versus New York, and let's start.
What's going on? Oh, great. Yeah. Did you receive my email?
Yeah. All right. I booked the room at the end of the time. You want to come?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right. Well, I took a look at your email. It looks pretty good.
Hey, thanks.
Why don't you pull it up for a second so we can actually talk about something?
Yeah, of course. Give me a second. I have it right here.
I don't have all day. I'm a busy man.
Yeah, you Americans. So yeah, looking at what I sent you, basically what our research was is SWOT analysis, segmentation, brand analysis, products and services, innovations, and financial analysis. So why don't you start with SWOT analysis?
Yeah. So basically, the strengths in New York are the financial, obviously, because we have the New York Stock Exchange. Goldman Sachs is headquartered there, and it's one of the financial capitals of the world. Also, there's such a melting pot, like, culture within New York. You'll see every nationality, every language spoken. If you're from anywhere in the world, basically, you'll hear your language. Also, it's more of an economic cluster there because there's every single industry that you could possibly think of there. So there's a great economic opportunity for anybody and also for job creation. Also, there's just different cultural activities that you can go on with, just different languages, everything else, different religions. Like obviously for Christmas they have the Rockefeller Center, they put up a huge Christmas tree. You can observe different languages that you may not know anything about. Maybe you can observe Ramadan, fast with somebody for a week, or maybe even observe the Chinese New Year, like watch the Year of the Dragon, which is the past couple of years.
Alright. Well, for London, it's almost the same like New York. It's one of the major financial centers in the world. London has over 400 overseas banks. And as a diverse culture, it's basically a melting pot, immigrants. So, in education, London is home to many educational institutions. It's also home to fashion and entertainment. Maybe you've heard of London Fashion Week.
What's that?
Yeah. Entertainment, We Will Rock You, we saw it together, both.
Yeah.
And it's not to mention, it's also a historic city. So tell me about the weaknesses.
There's weaknesses in New York. Come on, it's the U.S. But obviously, it's going to be, you're going to be in gridlock during rush hour. You're not going to move anywhere, and you might have to leave in time. So it's not as bad as LA, but it's pretty bad. Also, it's pretty hard for immigrants to come in due to the high tariffs and high different regulations of visas and things like that. So it's kind of limiting our melting pot structure, but that's something you have to work on.
Well, I can say the same for London about the stricter regulations. I don't know if you read The Economist lately. They kind of don't want the immigrants to come here to London. I mean, but aside from that, London has a high cost of living. It wants to shed its banking image, which it's famous for. It has a high crime rate, 190 homicides a year, and it's also fighting pollution. Yeah. So let's talk about the opportunities. What can someone do in New York?
Well, given that it's one of the financial capitals of the world, there's plenty of opportunities for people that, like, you can invest in the stock market. You can do anything you basically want to do. Like, since it's such a cluster, invest in any industry you want, and you can help grow the economy doing that. Also, there's a way that you can also help in the green community, because all the MTAs are switching to electric and hybrid like systems. Like that, even though they're the largest in the world, they're also going to be the greenest in the world.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, London and New York are both bustling economies. They attract investments and investors from all over the world, and they're actively engaged in green efforts. Yeah, but what do you think are the threats?
Well, first, obviously, you know about September 11th, right?
Yeah.
Gotta say the attack on the Twin Towers?
Yeah.
Correct. That's one thing, scared away from tourism that way. But ever since then, they've been building out, and now they're going to be stronger than ever before. They're going to be stronger, they have security features they're putting in effect and everything like that. Also, I guess, like, that's basically the main thing. It's like tourism, nobody wants to go to a safe city. What do you think about London?
Well, London also has competition in terms of attracting tourists. You've got the big cities, Milan, Paris, even New York. So they're competing to get tourists in. And tourism is not as widely exposed as the September 11th terrorist attack, but there were the London bombings. So, and not to mention, it's a major financial center, so it's a prime target for terrorism. Yeah. So let's talk about products and services. What's the production capacity of New York?
Well, New York's food industry by itself is a $5 billion industry. Just imagine about the rest of the sectors.
Wow. Well, London basically centers itself on in the service industry, mainly banking, as I've said before. For production, it used to be a manufacturing center, but that greatly declined in the 19th and 20th century. The only few remaining industrial plants in London is Ford Dagenham. So, by the way, why do you think people go to New York?
Well, people go to New York just for the effect, because it's a fast-paced modern city, and then you can easily become acclimated to it within a quick period. Not like any other city in the world, because you can see everything is always moving. The city, one of the cities that never sleep.
No, that's true.
Yeah, this is absolutely true. Because everything's always going on, something's going on at any given point during the day. Also, it's because they have their own marketing companies called New York companies. So they put money in that every year, and then they help out just like the tourism, giving incentives to come, helping entice consumers to spend money while they're there.
Yeah.
Does London have anything like that?
Well, London in itself is a brand, but they also have brands to support itself, like Harrods and Madame Tussauds. They've got tons of museums. I'm sure. What does New York have?
Well, New York has the metro system. New York has the New York Yankees. New York has the Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty, everything. Everything that people have heard of about New York is why they bring it in. That, and also they can do a good job.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of traction. You're going to need a proper transport system. So you were saying about New York and Company. They must put a lot of money to promote the city.
Okay.
Do you have a figure?
Okay, check it out.
Oh.
Alright, so within the last year, they put in over $500 million into attracting tourism by itself. So given that, they're hoping to entice more consumers to come in, and then New York can exploit them and take the money out.
So that explains the steep rise in 2010 to 2011. Well, we don't have, in London, we don't have anything like in New York and Company, but what we do have is LDA, and they get their fundings from the government. So you can see right here, the years leading to the Olympics, they've been pumping money more for infrastructure, just basically getting prepared for the Olympics. Do you know, by the way, how many people go to New York each year?
Well, in 2011 alone, over 50 million people visited New York, most of them being domestic. It's like given they go for job opportunities, just go to city sites, do everything else. International people come for a better life, obviously, because they have JFK and LaGuardia, which are international airports, so you can come from anywhere in the world, come there.
Alright, well, London doesn't have that many visitors as much as New York, but they do attract 30 million, and it's spread evenly between international and domestic. Let's have a look at the total visitor spendings.
Okay. Well, within the last year, 21 million was spent by consumers. So that's obviously due to the New York companies in massive amount of money that they spend to entice the economy. When they feel more comfortable, they spend more money. So when they spend more money, they definitely come back and do it again.
Yeah, so we can definitely say that New York has been more effective in using that money to attract visitors rather than London.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So, let's go to the poll.
Okay. All right. So if you all do us a favor, since you all have your iPads and iPhones and everything like that, go to this website and take a quick poll for us. No.
No, it doesn't. Okay, don't consider London because you live in terms of brand. Nobody will misunderstand you. There is a point behind that. There is a point behind that. So, as you all see, like this, the fluctuation goes up and down. This was actually our conclusion as well. They both cities sell themselves in a pretty similar way. The only difference is that New York has its own brand and does this through I Love New York brand, which is actually for the state of New York, but it pretty much is for the city. Everybody thinks it's, it's true, right? It's true. On the other hand, London sells itself by giving a more traditional and more historical value to the city, which is, as Amanda said before, it's a word to mouth. So pretty much a comparison is the same. So our point is, we were expecting pretty much same numbers between the two cities. So, questions?
Yes, Santiago.
Do you think like the preference between London and New York are different, like between ages? Like ages, for example, this kind of age prefer New York for certain reasons, but maybe like more senior people would prefer London, or that's like the taste.
What's Santiago make your parents?
Tell me, James.
Well, actually, it depends whether or not you're a fast-paced moving person or a slower moving person. Well, normally, as you get older, you slow down. So I think that you come to London, you can go to like the countryside and like chill out and relax and retire and have fun. But when you're actually making all of your money and you want to make more money, I would go to New York where you can get your fast-paced environment, do everything, and even at night.
So you are saying that indeed the age is a key factor for people to select either New York or London.
Yeah.
Actually, may I add up? Both cities offer opportunities and experiences for all group ages. It doesn't matter what's your age, but since New York gives a mentality of more technological effect, more high age and more modern, usually younger ages will prefer New York over London. But still London is trying to keep up and getting the point which New York is right now. Yeah.
Where do the people who love the beach go in New York? And where the people who love the beach go in London?
Please.
Is there like a connection with the tourism close to New York, or people who live in London just go wherever in Europe?
Actually, concerning tourism, no, it's a good question. Both cities offer more a city tourism rather than a resort tourism. So people visiting these two cities do not want to go to the beach. It's more of a city tourism plan, which means they pursue different things. They're not taking the bathing suits to go to New York. But if you mean people living in London or people living in New York, then it's a completely different subject because they might go to Florida, which is Miami, or in this case they might go to Spain, Greece, French Riviera, so
Portugal.
yeah, Portugal. So it depends on which perspective you view the things. Either the localized people in London, living in London, they go out, and people visiting, they do not visit to come and swim. So, yeah.
If you look at like where people are coming to the tourism industry, like how does the London like market itself, they market themselves globally, like if people coming from China or India, or like how does that work?
Generally a city markets itself through exhibitions. For example, for this today actually is the World Trade Market exhibition in the Custom House itself. This is more of a global approach. So they try to get travel agents to sell their place internationally, but as you saw in the graph, they have a variation between London and New York. The domestic and international visitors differ. That's it, mainly because in New York they pursue opportunities. So people from around the United States, prefer to visit New York rather than go abroad. So I think it actually depends. The visas, there are the other difficulties that might come up that might urge people not to visit. And in London, the European Union,